Donald Trump spent a lot of time on the campaign trail promising older Americans that he would end taxes on Social Security benefits. He made it sound like one of his top priorities and repeatedly told seniors that they should not have to pay tax on money they already earned. Many retirees strongly supported this idea because the taxation of Social Security is one of the most disliked parts of the entire system. However, when Trump's major tax and spending package, which he proudly called his Big Beautiful Bill, was finally passed into law, that promise was nowhere to be found. At first glance, this looked like a clear, broken promise. But in reality, what replaced it turned out to be far more helpful for most seniors, especially those who rely heavily on Social Security just to get by. For tens of millions of retired Americans, Social Security is not extra money or a bonus. It is essential income. Surveys consistently show that around 80 to 90% of retirees depend on their Social Security payments to cover everyday expenses like rent, food, utilities, and medical costs. Protecting that income is one of the most important responsibilities any government has. Trump's original plan to end the taxation of Social Security benefits would not have helped everyone equally. In fact, it would have mostly benefited higher-income retirees who already earn enough to be taxed on their benefits. Seniors with lower incomes, those who fall below the tax threshold, would not have seen any benefit at all. So while the promise sounded good politically, it would have left many of the most financially vulnerable seniors with nothing. There was also a major legal and political obstacle. Changing how Social Security is taxed requires amending the Social Security Act, which needs at least 60 votes in the U.S. Senate. Since neither political party has held that kind of supermajority in decades, there was almost no realistic path for Trump to get that change approved. In other words, the promise was unlikely to be fulfilled from the very beginning. Instead of ending the tax on benefits, Trump's law introduced a much broader and more targeted tax break for seniors. Starting in 2025 and lasting through 2028, people aged 65 and older will receive a significantly larger standard deduction. Single seniors will get an extra $6,000, while married couples filing jointly will get an extra $12,000, as long as their income stays below certain limits. This change is aimed directly at seniors who depend most on Social Security, not just those with higher incomes. This approach spreads the benefit more fairly. Rather than helping only the top half of earners, the increased standard deduction helps millions of lower and middle-income seniors reduce their overall tax burden. For many retirees, this will result in real savings and more money left over at the end of the year. There is also another important reason why ending the tax on Social Security benefits could have caused serious harm. Taxes on benefits are one of the three main sources of funding for the Social Security program. According to government projections, the system could face benefit cuts of up to 23% by the early 2030s if funding problems are not addressed. Removing this source of revenue would have made that crisis arrive even sooner, putting the entire program at greater risk. By keeping the tax in place while offering targeted tax relief elsewhere, the new law avoids speeding up Social Security's financial problems. While the bill is not perfect and comes with its own downsides, it prevents the kind of massive funding hole that eliminating the tax on benefits would have created. In the end, what looked like a broken promise turned into something that actually works better for most seniors. Trump did not deliver exactly what he said he would, but the alternative solution provides broader help, protects Social Security's long-term stability, and avoids putting the program in even greater danger. For many retirees, especially those living on tight budgets, this unexpected outcome may turn out to be a quiet win rather than a loss.